Hey, what's up? It is Dan or DMan96 here, and welcome back to our F1 Manager career mode with Stewart GP. And in this episode, we are going to be doing the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya. Last time out at the Monaco Grand Prix, we got third place, I do believe, with Johnny Herbert. Mika Häkkinen went on to win, and Rubens Barrichello unfortunately went on to retire for the third consecutive race. Let's hope he can actually finish, and finish well in this race. And it is the second time we're visiting this track. Of course, we visited at the start of the season for the pre-season test, which we finished second in ahead of Jordan, but we have Ferrari taking part, and obviously the cars must have improved since that pre-season test, so I think it's going to be a lot different as we go into this round. As you can see in the Drivers' Championship standings, Mika Häkkinen is on 30 points. He has a commanding lead ahead of everyone else, 12 points ahead of Michael Schumacher, and we are a further 2 points behind the Ferrari driver. Rubens Barrichello, despite only scoring in the first round of the season, still holds that 6th position, joint with Giancarlo Fisichella and Damon Hill. Still have 8 drivers yet to score, and interestingly, Williams are 2 of them. Williams haven't scored points at all this season. Maybe they can get off the mark in Spain today. And yeah, the Constructors' Championship, we are somehow second. I doubt that's going to stay like that for long. Like I said at the start of the season, my aim was to finish at least 4th if we can. We are miles behind McLaren. They've got double the amount of points than us. And Ferrari 1 point behind us in 3rd position, and Jordan in 4th. And 3 teams yet to score. And as mentioned, Williams have still not scored. So we're going to be heading on to the first practice session in a little while. So we're going to be heading on to the first practice session. So we're going to be heading on to the practice session in a little while, hoping we can maybe get some more points. But first, it's time to move on to the news report. First up is Italian brake company Brembo announcing that they will be staying with their teams Ferrari and Minardi for next season. Last time out, Prost announced the signing of Pedro Diniz for next season, putting pressure on both of their current drivers. However, just announced today was current driver 2 for Prost, Jarno Trulli, will be making the switch to Williams. An excellent move for the Italian, who could be one to watch out for in the future. Even bigger news was at the Stewart team, who have confirmed that Rubens Barrichello will not be driving with them next season. The Brazilian has had a difficult start to the year. After his 3rd place finish in Australia, he has suffered retirements in the next 3 rounds. However, the career for the popular Brazilian driver is not over, as he will be returning to Jordan, the team that he started off in 1993 as the driver 2. With McLaren's confirmation of Ford Zetec engines next season, many of the team have decided to leave after Ron Dennis' controversial decision. Commercial manager Ekrem Sami is on the way to Arrows next year. However, bigger news is chief designer Neil Oatley will be making the switch to Benetton. Despite them also confirming Ford Zetec engines next year, this is an excellent move for the team, as they could be a major threat for the 2001 season when Neil Oatley's chassis will be usable. But they aren't the only members of McLaren's team leaving. Driver number 2, David Coulthard, has made his feelings clear about partnering Michael Schumacher, worrying that the team will favour the 2-time world champion over him. Scott is also on his way to Benetton, along with Neil Oatley, with Alexander Wurz completing the team's driver lineup for next season. That's everything covered for the news. Now it's time to move on to the practice session for this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix. Okay, so the practice has just finished here at the Circuit de Catalunya, and unlike Monaco, it's now gone back to its normal practice, with the 2 McLarens on top, followed by the 2 Ferraris, and then Heinz Alfredson in 5th. Williams doing a good job actually, 6th and 8th. Could we see them score points for once this season? And then we're down in 9th and 12th. Rubens Barrichello had a bit of a mishap in practice. He crashed, I believe. I underfueled him slightly and forgot. Had to make several changes of the setup. So yeah, we are in 9th and 12th, which isn't bad, say to myself. Mid-table's about where I want to be, but not behind for Williams drivers and Wurz and the Benetton as well. So that was the practice session. It might all change in the qualifying, but I guess we'll find out in the qualifying report. Luca Badero put in a good performance for Minardi to qualify 18th ahead of the 2 Arrows drivers, with Takagi getting the better of his teammate, and Sauber John Alesi, as the other Sauber Pedro Diniz had a great session lining up in 11th. Carlos Zonta out-qualifies world champion teammate Jack Villeneuve to 15th as they split the 2 Prost cars. Jarno Trulli was the better of the 2 in 14th. Both Bensons line up behind the Sauber of Pedro Diniz, as Alex Zanardi will surprise many by not only making the top 10 but out-qualifying his teammate Ralf Schumacher to 8th. Stewart put in a solid performance in 6th and 7th. Eddie Irvine showed good pace in 3rd ahead of his teammate Michael Schumacher, whilst in between them was Jordan's Damon Hill, who put in a surprise performance to qualify 4th. However, there was no stopping McLaren as Mika Häkkinen secures pole position once again, with teammate David Coulthard alongside in 2nd. Okay, so qualifying's just finished. We're just getting ready for the race, sorting out the calculations for the amount of fuel we're going to be using. Both drivers are going to be doing a two-stop strategy, with Barrichello pitting 2nd, so Johnny Herbert will be the first to pit. And as you saw in the qualifying report, very interesting at the top, it's 2 McLarens as normal, but Eddie Irvine in 3rd, and then Damon Hill splitting the 2 Ferraris. Very, very good performance from the Jordan driver. We're back in the top 6. Rubens Barrichello out-qualifying Johnny Herbert. Can he score points this weekend? Bloody hope so. Alessandro Zanardi in 8th, so doing a good job for the Williams team, ahead of his teammate and Frentzen having a nightmare possession down in 9th. And as we know, Frentzen has to deliver for the Jordan team because Rubens Barrichello has taken his seat next year. And with a performance like that from Damon Hill, could we see Jordan keep Damon Hill as their driver number 1 instead of Heinz-Harald Frentzen? So this qualifying session, it definitely looks like we're going to be having a brilliant race. So I think we should get on with it right now. Keeping both in pole position at the start. As the lights are about to illuminate here at the Circuit de Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is lights out and away we go. Everyone getting off to a clean start. You can see the immediate getaway. I think that was David Coulthard. I think that was actually getting off to a very good start, getting alongside his teammate, and I think hasn't. Oh yeah, I thought he had taken the lead, but he hasn't. He stayed behind his teammates, and Rubens Barrichello holding on to 6th. Everyone staying in their positions like it usually happens in this game. You can see Damon Hill dropping way back from the Ferrari. He's being challenged by Michael Schumacher, I think. Let's go on board that battle if we can. I think he is still ahead. No, he isn't actually. We can see Schumacher in 4th, so Michael Schumacher has got past Damon Hill for 4th position. Very crucial there from the Ferrari driver, and unfortunately for Damon Hill, he started so well. Johnny Herbert, you can see in 7th place, pulling away from the rest of the field. It is still Mika Häkkinen that leads from his teammate David Coulthard in 2nd, and is the thing going to be taking his 4th consecutive victory of the 1999 season, as we just are about to finish lap 1 here at the Spanish Grand Prix. Okay, we're just skipping ahead a couple of laps onto lap 4. Rubens Barrichello has got himself ahead of Damon Hill, so the Jordan driver dropping back. And Michael Schumacher has passed his teammate Eddie Irvine, as you can see on the racetrack now. It is still a McLaren 1-2 and a Ferrari 3-4, but can the Stewarts make it a 5-6? Can Johnny Herbert get past Damon Hill and hold the charge from Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who is closing in at a quite fast rate here? Right, we're going to tell Barrichello to hold position here on lap 10 because we don't want to risk him retiring again. He's retired in 3 rounds now, 3 rounds in a row as well. So we really want him to get to the end, want to get some good points here. And we're going to keep Johnny in push. Hopefully he can get past Damon Hill, score some crucial points. Nothing is changing in the top 4, as pretty much usual. You can see Häkkinen slowly starting to pull away from Coulthard, and Schumacher is pulling right away from Eddie Irvine now. As you can see, Rubens Barrichello is closing up to the Arrows and Minardi drivers. Johnny Herbert still behind Damon Hill, but Heinz-Harald Frentzen slowly falling back. Alright, so we're moving ahead a couple of laps, and Johnny Herbert, as you can see, has passed Damon Hill. It's very unfortunate for him. He started so well in 4th position. He's dropped down to 7th and outside of the points. But hopefully we should have some retirements coming soon. Hopefully from the top 4, we could actually see some interesting things happen here. We're going to put both drivers on push, try and pull away from the 2 Jordans. Nothing changing at the front for the time being. Right, skipping another 2 or 3 laps ahead, and you can see Eddie Irvine's out. We're now 4th and 5th, and could retirements play into our favour here? Eddie Irvine's out of the race, and we're sitting in 4th and 5th position. We could get some more points there. Hopefully Barrichello can stay where he is. We're slowly pulling away from the Jordans. But Eddie Irvine, that's his 4th retirement of the season out of the 5 races that we've had. He finished in Monaco. But Eddie Irvine, I think he's surely got to be under pressure from the Ferrari team. We all know his teammates moving teams. Eddie Irvine could be leaving Ferrari very soon as well. Oh, bollocks! Johnny Herbert's out. Driver error for him. That's his first retirement of the season. That's a shame. We need to be careful of Rubens now. We need to keep him on to push if we need to keep him on hold position. So worth doing it as well. We're going to bring him into the pits this lap because I think I might have gone a bit wrong on the fuel. So we're going to bring him in anyway. Hopefully he can stay ahead of the Jordans. But a shame that Johnny's had to retire. He's been our top driver this season. And it's pretty much shown. Barrichello's retired in 3 of the 4 races we've had so far. And it's just a shame to see Johnny Herbert retire. But hopefully Rubens Barrichello can redeem himself. He might be leaving at the end of the season. He may have underperformed. But can he actually get some decent points being the only Stewart driver in this race? He's just exiting the pits in 6th position. The 2 McLarens in the pits, they're nearly a lap ahead of us, so it's going to make no difference at all. Okay, 31-second gap to Damon Hill. Well, I'm actually not too sure if that's actually true because obviously we know this game is quite broken. We just need to keep holding that position. Hopefully Rubens won't retire. I don't want a double retirement. Hopefully we can get some points. Oh yeah, Damon Hill's miles off now. He is miles behind, and apparently Ralf Schumacher's just ahead of him. I only just realised that. And we've got to remember as well, Williams haven't scored any points this season. Could this be the day that Williams finally gets some points? So Barrichello's due into the pits this lap. And we can see David Coulthard is behind him. He's in the lead. I believe he might be actually pitting this lap. I can't tell, of course, because... actually, no, he isn't. He's just gone around the final corner, so ignore what I said. Here we go, in the pits for the Brazilian. Is it a good pit stop? No idea. That is... Okay, so Coulthard was in the pits. And we're just behind Coulthard, but we are a few laps down, so don't have any thoughts about us taking a podium here. Oh, fuck! Ralph's jumped us! Bollocks! Right, we need to put it on push. We want that position. But Ralph's on a charge. Ralph's on a mission here. Let's finally get Williams' points. He's just moved into 4th, and we've got Damon Hill to pass next. And we have passed Damon Hill. What's the gap between ourselves and Ralph? He's 48 seconds up the road. If we can just pull a gap from Hill, hopefully we can get past him. Nothing really changing in the battle at the front. Hakkinen looks like he's going to win again. Well, it says we're 48 seconds. I'm sure that's not 48 seconds. It's a minute. Yeah, we're ahead of Ralf Schumacher now. That is definitely a glitch because we just passed him. He is not 49 seconds behind us. So let's just try and pull away from Ralf here. We can get a decent 4th place. So we're on board Mika Hakkinen. And he's going to come round the final corner, and it's going to be 4 wins in a row for the Finn. And the defending champion once again proves that he is still the best in Formula 1, or one of the best anyway. His teammate David Coulthard will complete a McLaren 1-2. I just saw that David Coulthard's retired. Big surprise. David Coulthard's out. I didn't notice that. I thought it was going to be a McLaren 1-2. Due to David Coulthard's surprise retirement, Michael Schumacher comes around the final corner. He's about to lap the Jordan. I think that is Damon Hill, and is going to take 2nd place here for the 2nd consecutive race. I believe for the 4th time this year as well. Schumacher is going to finish in 2nd. Rubens Barrichello has a few laps to hold on here. He still needs to finish the race, and he could get a podium. What a turnaround this is going to be for Rubens. And as Ralf Schumacher closes in at this late stage of the Grand Prix, it's not going to be enough. Rubens Barrichello is going to come round the final corner and secure Stewart's 3rd consecutive podium and their 4th of the season, his 2nd of the season, and his 1st since the opening round of the season in Australia. Another brilliant result, and there's Ralf Schumacher. He's going to cross the line, and Williams have finally scored points this season in 4th position. A good result for them, and finally for Williams scoring points. And we've had several retirements. Over half of the grid didn't finish, and crucial names including Eddie Irvine, Heinz Alfredson and David Coulthard, and of course Johnny Herbert with a driver error. But Mika Hakkinen is your winner, with Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello. That is your top 3. And Williams didn't score any points at all for the first few rounds of the season. They finally scored points here in Spain. Both drivers finishing in the points as well. And could we see Ralf Schumacher maybe staying at the team afterwards? We have no idea, of course, but Ralf Schumacher in 4th, Zanardi in 6th, a good result for the Williams team, probably the team of the weekend. Now let's move on to the championship standings. So now we move on to the Drivers' Championship standings, and it's Mika Häkkinen who still leads, now 16 points ahead of Michael Schumacher. Johnny Herbert in 3rd, dropping a few points thanks to his retirements. Rubens Barrichello gaining points, his 2nd points finish of the season, moving into 5th in the championship. We're doing very well actually. I'm still quite surprised. I think we are 1 point behind Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. We will check that in a minute, but nothing really changing much in the Drivers' Championship. Apart from Williams finally getting off the mark, Ralf Schumacher moving with 3 points, joint up with Jarno Trulli, and Alessandro Zanardi joined with Alesi, Irvine and Panis on 1 point. We've still got the Minardis, the Arrows, Diniz and Zonta who have yet to score. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren continue their dominant lead over Ferrari, still double the amount of points ahead of them in the championship, with Stewart falling behind, 1 point half behind Ferrari in 3rd, Jordan in 4th. I think they could catch us up by the end of the season, but it would be good if we could finish in 3rd. Benson on 6 points in 5th, and Prost and Williams joint with 4 points each. Williams, of course, finally scoring points with Arrows and Minardi, the only teams yet to score. And in the Team Managers' Championship, we've still got a huge lead over Ron Dennis. Alan Prost in 3rd, John Tott in 4th, and Frank Williams still stays in last despite scoring his first points of the season. Apart from that, nothing major changing in the Team Managers' standings. So that has been the Spanish Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A very good result, and 3rd place, a decent result for Barrichello, and that keeps us 3rd and 5th in the Drivers' Championship and 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. Unfortunately, we have dropped behind Ferrari, but that's to be expected really. They have got a better car. But next up is the Canadian Grand Prix of the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, a track I like, and I think we should have a brilliant race here. Hopefully we can get some more points on the board, and hopefully catch the Ferrari. I doubt it though, they're probably going to beat us, but it should be a good one nonetheless. And before I go, I'm just going to quickly say that in the next episode there will be an announcement from us. I've decided that it's going to be our personnel, that's our chief designer, technical director and commercial manager. And I've also decided that we'll reveal our suppliers, which is the electronics and engines and brakes and so on, at the next race in France, and then at the British Grand Prix will be our drivers for the 2000 season. Can't really give too much away about our announcements, but I did have to make a change to one of them today. I'm not going to reveal who it is or which role it is. So that has been today's video. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Until next time guys, this has been DMAN96. I'll catch you guys later.